Hello and welcome back to my channel, Live Life to the Full. Today we will be touching upon the subject of support, love and trust, and just trying my best to explain this in a bit of understanding. I tried to make these previous videos, helpful, and I think this is where it's we're gradually coming to the end of these videos. So, and this is more now based on what we can do now. We and love, support, love, and trust. We've got to trust ourselves, but sometimes we've got to trust others as well, and we've got to love them and we've got to support them as well. It doesn't always mean supporting, their their values and their own beliefs. You don't have to support that if that's not your own values. Supports your own values, beliefs, and you know so that whole thing of just love, support someone. And this whole section, this whole 10 videos is there to mainly discuss problems that are happening with struggles, you know seeing, like, I'm gonna go with this one because I've experienced this one. Being an outcast is difficult. So, like, for instance, in primary school, we would get into groups of, we get into pairs, and we got to choose our own partner. And I never had a partner because everybody else went for their own person. Things like that. Or, getting to choose our own seats in the classroom, and then you would always be the one that there was no seats left and you were sitting at a table by yourself. I've experienced that, and that's really something people shouldn't have to feel. They should feel loved, and they should, have people should, trust in themselves. Even if they do sit on their own, they need to have that strength to say, sometimes it's okay, because maybe that group of people are going to mess around. And yes, I've experienced that, and yes, I've been part of that when I have been in groups, that there is always maybe one of them that messes around. And sometimes that's been me. I've done some things and messed around in group activities. But, even that I learned from and thought, okay. But if you're doing, for instance, a drama, you know, you've got to trust people that they know what they're saying, And I can't say a certain, like, drama performance that I've done because I did so many in high school and can't really rattle off a topic. But just supporting people in their ideas, and eventually putting trust in someone saying, it's like, okay, you're the leader of this. You will lead this performance, and you will lead you will, give us the job roles, and we trust you that you'll put us at the right job roles. But also the support, that this leader has to give us in order to do our best. And we as people, we have to give the love to, listen and to learn, from what our role will have to be. And yes, there will also be some person who just, like, says, which I've had several times, those people who say, like, I just make sure I die in the first scene, of a sketch, in a drama performance. And even that, you've got to sometimes respect it. It means that, maybe they're not feeling so comfortable. So just doing that, dying in the first scene, even if it's something that's, can't really consist of somebody dying in the first section of it, you know, I've had that when I didn't want to speak. Then, just kill this character off and just, get him away. But that's okay if people feel that way. If they just don't want to speak in a drama performance, it's okay, because sometimes it is nerve-wracking getting in front of your class. Or, for instance, I struggled with, reading in high school, and I still do struggle with reading. So when it came to silent reading, for instance, I struggled with that, because we'd all have to read Sometimes we had to read our own books, of which I didn't. I just sat there, waited 50 minutes until the class was over, feeling bored out of my face because it was just like, okay, are we done now? But also reading publicly when it came to your turn and reading a chapter in the book, I was scared because I was like, I struggle with reading and all this, pressure that's put on you at that point, you know, is scary. So that support you get maybe from others, especially with teachers when you were struggling on a certain word that you can't say and you're trying to sound it out, and then they say it for you, and then you read the whole sentence again and say that word, and it's that helpful, and that love and respect and the support you get from teachers or lecturers or your friends to just be accepting of, like, okay, we accept, you struggle reading, because I wasn't the only one, and I'm definitely not the only one in this world who struggles to read, struggles to write, struggles to retain information. I struggle with it, and we all struggle in different levels. So it's supporting each other no matter what, And yeah, same with, as I said, drama. Putting your trust in the person who's leading and trusting that they will do their job or their role correctly. We put our trust in them that they will choose the right role for us, and we've she trusts, or he or she trusts us to do that role correctly. So, and that, the support, we can also turn it to ourselves and say, do we support ourselves? Do we support, and look after ourselves, or are we constantly kicking ourselves in the dirt? You know, we've got to learn to support ourselves, especially through self-care. So, looking after yourself mentally and physically, and yeah, so, and loving yourself, just being thankful for everything you get, and loving the fact you've got a new day, loving the fact, it's sunny, or what looks like it's sunny. But, even the fact today, I loved the fact that I got to go on a walk. I loved the fact that I can walk. I love the fact that I can also just rest and just be at peace within myself. So, and I love the fact that, you got to love the fact when you have friends, but sometimes you've got to love the fact that you've, not made certain friends that maybe weren't right or weren't good for you or could have led you in the wrong direction, because there will be those people on your path, and it's that choice and it's that decision which we all make as individuals, and we choose our own thing because we have our own minds, we have our own brains, but it's making that solid decision. We will all come to a point where thinking like, okay, maybe that wasn't the right idea, so this time I'm going to do it a bit different. We can't rewind our life, which sometimes I wish I could. It's like, if I would have done that, if I did that differently, things would have been so much better, but the whole future would have then changed. I would have maybe not had the opportunity to do this, and then mentally you think, if I would have done something like this, it would have totally affected this whole section of my life. If I go back and change this one moment, it will then affect my entire future. So, yeah, we can't change our past. We can only live in the present. Yes, we can set goals for the future, definitely, and try and reach for them, and try our very best, whether that is through achieving a college course which people thought you'd never manage to do, and you proved them wrong and you smashed it, just doing those things, people thinking, oh, you'll never be able to drive, and then you drive a car, and you'll never be able to buy your own house, and then you get your own house, or just simple things like that. you know I think it's very important that we look at that. So with this heart of love, this support system, within ourselves and within our friends and relatives and families, you know, I hope that they will help you through it. But, there are hopefully helplines where you can go to, or, for instance, YouTube, if you can go to and you like certain videos. Like I watched somebody funny last night playing, cooking simulator. And I just laugh about it. And if you're feeling in a terrible mood, something like that can just lift you up, and just like, yeah, I can now go to sleep feeling a bit more happier than I did earlier on in the day, you know. So whether it's music, whether it's YouTube videos, whether it's reading a book, whether it's writing a story, going on a walk, whatever suits you and gives yourself self-love, and that you trust yourself that this may get you through the difficult situations. But yeah, support is a big one, and I think we need so much more people to step forward now, you know, to stand for this and support people. It's for some people it's not going to be easy, and certain subjects they can't help with because they've never experienced that. I only share things that I have experienced personally within my own life, and just trying to be open and honest with everybody, with all you guys. And yeah, it's not easy, but I feel open and confident enough to put this out there. And there will be a time when things will be difficult in sharing certain things, but it doesn't mean that I can't be open if I need a break, for a couple days before I can make a new YouTube video. I always say, if I'm in the mood for making a video, I will. But if I'm in no state of mind, because it all comes, as I said, from the heart, if I'm not able really to talk about the subject, then it's best me just not make a video. But I do really want to try using the love that I have in my support, the love that I have in my heart, to support those who are in need of it, or those who maybe need to hear it so that they can help others, or those who can maybe need to hear it so that they can share it with somebody else. And yeah, I do this in hope to help you, and in any way that it can. So, and I, in the regards of trust, I have to trust myself that I say the right things, and because I do it in one take. And if I do say the wrong things, then I'm like, oh, okay, maybe not. But so far I've done okay. So, and hopefully, as I grow, as we are coming to the end of this section of I'm going to call this struggles and strategies, and probably struggles, strategies, and successes, because I think you can't just end at strategies, because strategies always lead to successes, but from struggles to strategies to successes, they might keep going in that order. So they might, even after successes, you might then have more struggles. But it's then realizing, okay, use the strategy system again. From those successes, from those successes you previously had, the suffering you have now, you might have new strategies to then make new successes. And yeah, that's just a great way as I think of it. So the love, the care, the support we give to others, the trust that, things are going to be okay, that we can make it through this. And, because, what I find really amazing is even after the worst of storms, afterwards the sky is, you know, clear at night and it's quiet. It's a beautiful pinky color, the cloud, like the clouded areas, and it's just so peaceful. And it's at that moment, it's like even through the storms, you know, after the storm, there is peace, there is quiet, and there's a time to reflect, you know. And if you don't, if you take this as within your life, you know, you will have stormy days within you, and that will beat you down, and you will hide and, yeah, break. But remember that there's a time where it will be clear and that you can say, these are my successes. And that's really important that we know that, and that we know not to give up. And I think that's, as I said, really important. So I hope you've all learned something from this video. Remember to support everyone, you know, and just make sure that people aren't struggling in any way that you can, you know, even if that's just sitting with someone and listening to them speak, or just simply making them feel loved and respected, that you know that by saying certain things like, I'm here if you need them, that they can maybe put their trust in you to think it's like, okay, I'm now struggling. He says, like, I need to trust him, but from his word that he said that I can help you whenever. And that's really important that we learn that trust. And yeah, some people in life you can trust, others you can't. But again, that's life. And but living life to the full, eventually you will try your very best to do that. And I think living life to the full is the most important thing that you could ever do. So thank you all very much for listening. As I says, if you have any comments, please write them below. If you haven't already seen any of my other videos, please go and see them, and please like and subscribe and share this channel with others, so that my message to you guys can be shared to everybody who is in need of my message. But yeah, may they always know that they are never alone in their struggles, you know. Everybody struggles. But I'm here to say, you know, you can get through it. You know, don't worry, don't be afraid. It's like struggles will come to an end. Just stay strong and keep fighting, because you can do it, you know, and you will do it. Thank you very much. Bye.